comments of, the political leadership to look in that direction?
Let me tell you and tell the public without fear of anybody, we do what is called threat analysis. Why was I trained for 31 years? 34 years plus my cadet days. Why were we trained? We are trained to do threat analysis. Anything that would threaten the security of this country. So it is part of our threat analysis. Every day we do the threat analysis. Any person can interpret it to mean that it's a follow-up to the speech of the vice president, then acting president, and then the minister of interior. That person can be right. Where do we take instructions from? Where do we take, get information from? One thing leads to the other. So, but on the whole, it is part of what we call threat analysis. What is the threat now coming? We continue to analyze it so that we will not be taken by surprise and Nigerians will not be taken by surprise. And that is what they have paid for to train us to do. And that is what I'm just telling them and letting them know. And when they say, what are you doing in the event? I mean, with the spate of all these things happening now. And I needed to tell the public, to give them confidence, to reassure them that, yes, we have this measure in place. We are not, unmindful of it. We are not timid. We are not just sitting down folding our hands. We are also doing our threat analysis through surveillance, through monitoring. Are you also going to be reassuring the opposition and any Nigerian? I'm reassuring them. They have said any Nigerian who feels threatened about, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom to criticize the government, are you going to be reassuring them as well? I'm reassuring. The moment the fake Twitter handle came up, General, I've been told by my director that you'll be allowed to answer that question when we return from this break. Okay. Give us a moment. Thank you. Please stay with us. Well, Major General John Enenche is still with us here in the studio. He's Director, Defense Information. Now, I'm reading a tweet here. This is Udeme saying, I feel very unsafe with this government's threat and intimidations becoming too much. So we can't even speak again. That's, the sense that people are beginning to get, from drawing from what has happened. I mean, the vice president's speech, talking about hate speech becoming terrorism, and then, General Dambazal's comments, and then now the military's comments. Is that, for people like Udeme who feel threatened, what assurance are you providing to them that the monitoring you're doing is not about criticism, or it's not about clamping down on opposition, as it were? Well, to the mayor, I would definitely tell you that it is not about clamping down on any Nigerian or any person that resides in Nigeria. And I want to restate again that it was misinformation to the general public, misconstruction by mischief makers. And I was understood by some of you out of context because of what you got from other sources. So have the assurance that the military will not go into doing what it was not used to doing and what it has never been directed to do by the appropriate superior authority. So have that assurance. That is not the aim. The aim is what I explained to you earlier on, that it is part of what? Threat analyzing. Analyzing threats that can come up. It's not against any individual, and it will never be against any individual. And of course, you know that the military does not have the right or the powers to do that, what we are hearing about, arresting you or whatever, no. Rather, we are out there to protect lives and properties, and that is what we continue to do, as being directed and guided by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So well, have your peace. Talking about lives and property, quickly, we understand that there was some unrest in a camp in Borno on Saturday, and then some workers were affected as a result. What precisely is going on in that camp as we speak? Yes, what really happened, like I said, on Saturday, the IDPs, that it was at not Kunduga. If I'm not too sure, I stand to be corrected, but one of the camps, not even in Maiduguri, they expected rice, and they gave them sorghum by a an international organization that provides food. That was what caused it. And the sorghum wasn't enough. They said it was just 2 bowls for well, according to them, it was. They claimed it was not enough. But they have standard measures
that they, just for instance, for every family of 4, they could give about 25 liters of water. For every family of 4, there are standard measures that they give them in moodles. That was what the organization gave. And they said, no, we did not even expect sorghum in the first place. We were expecting rice, and you are not giving us sorghum in this quantity. And they rioted and caused minor damages on some of the vehicles. But as I speak to you, yes, it has been resolved completely as at yesterday morning by the United Nations.
Well, General, I have to thank you most kindly for coming on Sunrise Daily. Major General John Enenche is Director Defense Information. And that will be it on the program from us here in Abuja. Thank you so much for watching this morning. And Maokbe Ogun is back to the team in Lagos.
Well, yes, indeed. That's the show as well today. We thank you all for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain. So,
thanks for watching. I'm Gimba Omo.